My video for the 26th of May, 2018 is entitled Covering Up Crimes Against Humanity. Committing crimes should be a serious offense, and any cover-up only magnifies the problem. Crime, as I'm using the term for this video, is the violation of another human's free will and choice, or intentionally harming another. As humans, we can never be truly free as long as we do not have a viable remedy for the commission of such abuse, especially when the abusers hold positions of alleged authority, such as clergy, politicians, and the so-called elite that some claim, or that claims some divine right of kings. The most serious of such abuse is that committed against the most innocent and vulnerable among us. Yet revelations of such exploitation are increasingly coming to light. Of course, the publicity of those in high places is painful for those involved, especially if they have a conscience. Some seem to lack, however, such scruples. Are they truly not affected, or is it just an act on their part? Of course, I do not know the answer. I can only speculate based on my own experience. As I said to my grandmother as a child, that's God's business. If that exclamation of a young boy is true, where is the God that in my mind is able to respond in a way that makes accountability meaningful? Let me begin by saying I did hear from Aristo, and he is back, but there are still some issues, and I am not sure exactly when he and I will be recording. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, I'm not sure. When I learned that Aristo wasn't going to be able to make it, when I got that message, I immediately notified Valentine to see if he wanted to make a video with me. And I figured he'd get back to me when he got up, and he hasn't as of 2 o'clock this afternoon. It's just 2 o'clock now, just a couple of minutes around 2. And I'm here making my own video. I had to quick scramble and figure out what I was going to do. Now, this is a subject that's touchy, and what triggered the thought was I had just a little bit earlier read an article about a high-up Catholic, I forget whether he was a cardinal or a bishop, but in any case, he was high up in the Catholic Church in Australia, and he was just found guilty of covering up pedophilia, child abuse. Now, we know, if we've been paying attention, that child abuse is a problem for clergymen, especially Catholic, but not just Catholic. Some Protestant denominations have also been very much involved in pedophilia. And of course, the elite establishment, especially royalty, especially kings and queens and people that claim high up royal positions, they have been guilty of abusing little children for a very long time. It's gone on in the United States, and it's gone on around the world. We even have a place in Northern California where the elite would meet once a year, and they'd have their ceremonies where they would sacrifice children in effigy, but some say that there was a lot more to it than that. We've seen videos, or some of us anyway, have seen videos that were filmed discreetly by various people. I can't remember who was that. I don't know if it was Alex Jones that did that or not, but somebody got behind the scenes and actually filmed some of the ceremonies that were going on in the Bohemian Grove, which is the place in Northern California that I referred to earlier. Folks, we live at a time when a lot of things are coming to the surface that have been swept under the carpet for a long time. We haven't been told the whole truth. And I don't know that we know the whole truth even now, but more bits and pieces of the truth, the abhorrent truth, the dark side of truth is coming to the surface. Now, some don't want to hear that. Some people say that's negative. If you dwell on the negative, you get more of it. No, if you ignore the negative, it stays hidden. The only way to remedy the situation is to bring it to the surface and make conscious decisions on how to handle it. But in order to have remedy for those crimes that are being committed, you have to have people in places that can pass judgment and hold accountability to the people that are accountable. Hold them accountable and let them make recompense, even if it's serving time. Now, in the particular case in New South Wales and Australia of this high-up clergyman, he's getting, the sentence is supposed to be for 2 years. And the article mentioned that there have been others that have been found guilty, and one particular individual it mentioned died while in captivity. Folks, this stuff that we're talking about now is rampant in human culture. And unfortunately, it's rampant at the highest levels of human society. And it's been going on for generations after generations. I know you've probably heard me say that before, and I'll probably say it again more and more, because this is part of the awakening. It's the part that we have to face before we can get the good stuff. I'd like to get to the good stuff. I'd like to see the kingdom of heaven manifest on earth. But what's keeping that from manifesting is those in power do not want the kingdom of heaven to manifest, because the kingdom of heaven is about peace. The kingdom of heaven is about truth. The kingdom of heaven is about justice. The kingdom of heaven is about forgiveness. Yes, forgiveness is part of justice, believe it or not. You forgive those who repent. And that means to make retribution, pay retribution for the crimes that they've committed. If they've stolen, to give back at least a portion, if not more than what they stole. And if they've stolen the innocence, how do you give that back to a child? You've scarred the child for life if they live. And if they've been killed, I don't know. Is that a reprieve because they're no longer in the physical body? Or do they just come back and recycle the same stuff again? Is it just a karma that the people that were abused come back and become the abusers? Some say that that's the way it works. Well, that's insane. What kind of a loving God would put such a system in place where there's never any justice done, where there's never any real remedy that is meaningful, that redirects our energies into positive things instead of reversing everything and making it the opposite, so that evil becomes the way that we live. But living is what we really need to do. And evil and live are the same word, inverted. Evil is just live inverted in English. I don't know if that's true in other languages, but it's true in English. And everything in our culture has been inverted. And we need to stop covering up the crimes against humanity, bring them to the foreground, where those that have committed such crimes are given a reasonable opportunity to repent and change their ways and heal in whatever way they can heal those that they've abused, as well as heal themselves. We all need to be healed. We've all suffered under this. And it's up to our Creator. If our Creator is really love, where's the love? Where's the love? It doesn't exist if it's just passed from generation to generation and it's put off into some future time zone. That doesn't mean a thing. Thank you for listening, and namaste.